Hey everyone, in this video we're going to give a brief overview of the 3 proprietary indicators that we've been working on at the Chart Guys over the last couple of years: the Backburner, the Trade Keeper, and the Trend Scout. These indicators are integrated with Tradingview and available for purchase on our website. Click the link in the comments for more information, and just be aware that we have to manually apply them to your account, so please give us a little bit of time after you make your purchase. Thank you. So if you've been following along with my content over the last couple of years, you've been hearing me talk about the Backburner trade often. And if you don't know what it is, Google Chart Guys Backburner, and there's a very in-depth video describing exactly what the strategy is. But this is now an indicator that will alert you when certain conditions arise for the Backburner to be in play. The most important aspect of the Backburner is it's in a strong trending market. If we are in a strong uptrend, we look for short-term oversold conditions to mark the higher lows on the longer-term time frames. If we are in a strong downtrend, we look for short-term overbought conditions to mark the lower highs in a strong downtrend. So it is useful in both kinds of market environments, but where it is not useful is choppy sideways. So just be aware, it's not any old oversold condition. It has to be the premise of a strong trending market. So just a couple examples here. Meta on the daily time frame has been in a strong uptrend for quite some time here. And we can see that we just consolidated and bounced off daily EMA 12. We ideally want a confluence of signals. We want first hourly oversold conditions after a big, strong move on the daily time frame to align with daily EMA 12 support to set the daily high or low. So this was just on March 28th, 2023 here, an hourly time frame. We had the Backburner trigger on the morning of March 28th. And that was the bottom. That was the daily high or low. The strongest trends that you will find are when the short-term oversold conditions lead to the longer-term higher lows. And Meta is a perfect example of that. Hourly Backburner triggered right around 198, and then we followed through up to 210 plus. Likewise, we have a bear example. XLF we know has been in a strong daily downtrend ever since the bearish news and the run on the banks. And so we had a daily bounce underway. And we finally got to hourly overbought conditions. And so we had a gap up open that morning. The Backburner fired pre-market, but that was a nice morning to short as we ended up dropping about 1.5% for the entire sector. Now that has not marked the daily lower high. That would have been ideal for the bears if that were the case, but it was a big enough pullback to sell some partial position, and maybe you stopped out the fact that we did not start daily consolidation from here, but it was a good indication of a temporary top being set and then some pullback. So I highly suggest back testing it. Some names respond to the Backburners better than others, but again, just keep in mind, strong trending market, ideal for Backburners. I call it my anti-FOMO trade because if I'm missing a move up, man, I wish I had a meta long position. You patiently wait for the trade to come to you. It's my anti-FOMO. I'll just get it when we're an hourly oversold, and that example worked out well.
All right, I'm going to explain the Trade Keeper and what it actually does. The Trade Keeper, I like to think of it as an indicator that keeps you in a trending trade. It is more of an exit indicator than an entry indicator, but you can use it for entries. I would just caution and tell you to please use that in conjunction with price action. You're looking for that confluence of signals. So you can use it swing trading, you can use it day trading, and all it does is tell you this trend is continuing, and then it gives you little caution signs that the trend may be changing or shifting based on Keltner channels, ATR trailing stops, EMAs, and it's constantly scanning that higher time frame and saying, okay, are things changing on a higher time frame that maybe it's time to exit this trade? So let's look at it in the daily swing context with Tesla. So in Tesla, we've got our first green dot back here, January 23rd. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me pull that up, that first green signal there. If you would have stayed on the daily chart alone and waited till you got printed a red dot or a purple dot of caution, meaning, hey, we may be losing EMAs. These yellow dots said, hey, we're extending outside the Keltner channel. We're going beyond 2 standard deviations outside the Keltner channel. Caution, it didn't say exit, it just said caution. You could have scored about 50% of gains just by using the indicator alone for entries and exits. Look at Apple. We can look at it on a 4-hour. Here, we got our first green dot down here. I want to be as accurate as possible. About 20% from January 11th to February 14th. So it does work for swing trading. And then there's a lot of us that use it for day trading. So last Thursday, you could have gotten a 2.85% intraday gain. And with options, that's about 200, 300% in gains on calls if you'd have used the green dot for entry and not hop out on that first yellow caution, but just continue to monitor. That yellow just tells me, okay, we're getting pretty extended here. We may roll over. And it did, and it continued with the green print, and it would have kept you in that trade all day long. So it keeps you in a trade. And a lot of times I will just toggle it off. And then once I get in, then I toggle it on and say, okay, I'm not exiting my final scale until I get a change in color from green to red if it's a long, or red to green if it's a short. Also, I do want to go over these settings with you. So I use the slow trail. Again, the purple and yellow are caution dots, just saying, hey, watch your trend. It may be changing soon. Green is a long signal and red is a short signal, and it keeps you in a trending trade. So I hope that helps explain the TradeKeeper indicator.
Hello traders, my name is Mark O'Sullivan. On the ChartGuys community, my handle is Mountain Mark. I've been full-time trading for 2 years. Prior to that, I was a software engineer for over 20 years. So as a trader, my edge is that I can code, and I spend a lot of time writing indicators in Tradingview with the goal of helping me to improve my trading. And so Trend Scout is an indicator that I spend a long time working on. What it does is it helps you to see what the trends are on the different time frames that you need to care about, and then understand how that can help you to discern, what do you think is going to happen next? So where is price scouting to next? It's something that I often hear Dan talking about in his in all of his daily review videos. Is he talks about what's happening on each time frame, and then what are we scouting right now? So Trend Scout was really built to solve that problem for new traders of being able to look at any stock and see what's going to happen next. So when I first began trading, I would do this a lot. I'd be down here on like the 1 minute time frame trying to figure out, is this a rising wedge? What's going to happen here? And so I built Trend Scout to sort of bring me back out of that and try to look at the chart from the way that a more seasoned trader would. So what the Trend Scout does is it cares about the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly timeframes. So it'll draw pivots for those timeframes specifically. So even though here I'm on the 1 minute time frame, the smallest that the Trend Scout cares about is the 5 minutes. So that's what it's drawing here for you on the 1 minute. If I zoom out, I can see on the 5 minute, it'll redraw here in a second. I can see what's happening on the 5 minute chart. I can see that we've had a 5 minute bull break. We were sort of in a downtrend here, and now we've broken out of that. We're scouting a higher high below 5 and 15 minute resistance at 261.04, which is just 1.14% away. The next resistance above that is 2.29% away. It's a 1 hour resistance. So this already gets me to start thinking about things in terms of what's happening outside of this chart. I'm looking at the 5 minute, but I see that there's a 1 hour resistance there. I want to understand that a little bit better. So I'm going to click on the 1 hour time frame and zoom out and see, okay, 1 hour, what's happening here? Okay, so we were sort of chopping around a little bit. We broke bear, broke up, and then broke bull. So we're scouting a higher low above 1 hour support right here, which is almost 10% away. And I can even zoom out further, like what's happening on the higher time frame than the 1 hour? And because where am I going to go next? So I zoom out a little bit and I can see, there's a 4 hour, a daily, and a weekly resistance up above. So that's an important resistance. I want to look at that chart and get a better understanding of that. So let's jump to 4 hour. Where is that resistance coming from? Okay, now I'm seeing it. So so we were in this downtrend and now we're coming up. That's going to be a pretty important resistance for us to break through. So I think there's probably some room to go up here, but you can already see, we're extended. We're like 13.6% above where our last low pivot was. Ideally, I would kind of want it to come into here and start thinking about, taking along from there. So I'd be looking for something to come in a little bit from here. And so already you can see, just using the Trend Scout, I'm starting to think more deeply about what's happening on this chart, and how can I be more realistic about my trades, and what makes sense? What makes sense for this price action to do? And that's really what Trend Scout is all about. It's about training you. And so when I started using Trend Scout, it immensely helped me just to see what was happening on the charts right away and have more confidence in the trades that I was taking, allow me to hold on to trades longer when I felt confident in the trend that we were in. If I could see trends aligning on multiple time frames, like we're in an uptrend on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4 hour and the hour, but we're pulling back on the 15, I can quickly see that using Trend Scout and know, okay, I should take a long here. I should feel confident in that long because the larger term time frames are going in the direction that I'm interested in. And that's what it does. It tells you what trend to scout. For newer traders, this is an essential tool. It will help you to see what seasoned traders see. For traders who've been doing it for a while, honestly, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. When I've shared it with others who've been trading for a long time, that's what they consistently tell me back is, it just felt like a sigh of relief. I don't have to think too deeply about the charts anymore. I can very quickly see it's telling me exactly what I was thinking, but now I can see for sure in the pivot points that are being drawn and the supports and resistances that I can see being drawn as well. So that's Trend Scout. I hope you like it. I love it. I use it every day in my trading. I think it will make you a better trader.